Hello, my name is MegaNova, and I'm here once again with Tobias
Hello.
talking about more Shield Hero.
Yeah, we are.
Um,
So,
so,
what did you think of this
you seem
episode?
to, um, I mean, I liked it. It was just kind of chill this time. Not really again, not a whole lot happened, but it was also slightly less dramatic than last
That's
episode.
putting it mildly. Although I will say, it was unironically the best episode of the show up until now. Not that it says a whole lot.
That ending was a bit of a twist.
What part? Which part of the ending?
The very end.
The little girl?
Yes.
We knew she'd be there. She was in the she's in the intro and on the cover.
I mean, yeah, I just didn't expect this would be the way that she showed up.
That the typical way, oh, things was not as it was supposed to be. It was actually a naked lolly.
A naked chicken lolly.
Bird lolly.
Yes.
I like the bird though. The bird was cool. I don't care about the lolly. She seems really generic.
I just wonder if this is gonna be like her permanent form, or if she can transform between the two. Because
you skip the intro.
No,
she transformed into a bird to kick a monster in the face in the intro.
Oh, I guess I missed that one every time. I don't necessarily notice everything that goes on. Okay.
It's like the action,
and half the time I don't
like the action shot.
Okay, fair enough. It's just half the time I don't really look when the intro is going on. I'm usually doing something else, and then
eyes glazed over, drooling.
No, I have 3 screens, so I'm doing other stuff as the intro is going on, and then when the actual episode starts, I start paying attention again.
The intro is the best part.
It does have a pretty good intro.
Song.
Yeah, me too. And the outro is pretty chill. But yeah, we're not actually talking about the actual episode.
Yeah, let's get into the episode.
So we get another duel with the spear hero.
Yeah. Don't just jump there. We don't want this to end up like the second episode.
And mine is being a cunt again.
Basically, cartoon villain. I'll get into that later.
Yes.
I mean, we see the queen
much.
and her personal ninjas.
Yes, and they are apparently very invested in the shield hero doing well for some reason.
I'll get into that a bit later. Anyway, so yeah, there is a queen. She barely has any characteristics. Apparently, she supports the shield hero, but oh well.
I mean, we don't know anything about her yet. We only got to look at her for like 30 seconds.
But we cut to them getting their cash.
Yeah.
In the temp.
And of course, they were trying to scam Shield Hero out of the money that they owed him.
Yeah, and then those 2 other guys stepped up.
Yeah, like I keep seeing people talk about, these 2 are like the biggest assholes of them all, but so far, I just wish people wouldn't say that, because it seems to spoil that some shit is gonna go down later, and they just seem like nice guys right now.
I have a problem with it because they don't really have any character.
No, but at least they seem to be like, at least as of right now, they seem to be the only ones who are actually respectful towards him of the people we're supposed to hate, I guess.
Well, I have a problem with that because they don't have any character. They're just there.
That's because we barely get to see anything of them.
And that's a problem as well. I'll get into that. I've said that
we don't really have time to develop a character for them.
Oh, yes, they have. The show just don't fucking want to. Just want to.
Oh yeah, but that's what I mean. They don't have enough screen time to have a character develop.
They could easily have had that at this point. It's just constantly masturbating now, Fumi. Yeah, I mean, they just. How should I put it? They basically just are like, no, give him his money, and the king is like, okay. And that's kind of the thing. They just help him. But essentially, it's how there's always something to save him from any actual consequences. Later on, the Queen's personal ninjas show up to save him from being in any trouble.
They do seem like a bit of a Deus Ex Machina.
It's plot convenience, but that's been the thing from the start. When he gets declared a rapist and apparently the most evil person in all of the kingdom, the blacksmith is also just kind of there. I don't even care, and then proceeds to give him gear.
I wouldn't necessarily say it like that.
Yeah, I'm being dismissive. What I mean is that essentially he's always there are always someone to sort of bail him out.
I guess.
Yeah, I'll get into that later. I've said that like 100 times this episode already. Anyways, he gets his cash and goes to the slave trader, and she gets her mark back.
Yeah.
She gets her slave mark back.
Yeah, that I was gonna comment on that too, because I really don't understand why she would do that. Like, I know she says it's like, oh, it's to prove my loyalty to you, or whatever the fuck she was trying to say, and it's just like, but why though?
Yeah, I've wanted to do a joke about the show's sexual pathology, but it's really getting odd.
Yeah, and she was even like, or what did you think?
Yeah.
And it's just like, but why?
I mean, that's
that just seemed pointless.
I mean, no, it's not pointless. It's because she's a good woman who understands her place is servitude, unlike the evil woman, mine, who uses her feminine wiles to control men. Or at least that's what the show seems to be implying. I'm not making any judgments here.
No, not in the slightest.
Oh well, let's get on with it.
We're getting back to the fucking incel bullshit.
Oh yeah. Oh well. What even happens?
God.
Oh yeah. He goes to the slave trader, who is a weird, eccentric goof all of a sudden.
Wasn't he kind of that to begin with?
Yeah, but in the beginning he was ominous.
I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I think that was more just like the lighting and the whole situation seemed a lot more grim.
Well, he was. Yeah.
Now
he was eccentric in the beginning, but he was more ominous and sinister because of the circumstances. And now for me being all, I'm dark.
Yeah, exactly. And I think now it just lightened up a bit.
Which is kind of funny because it kind of, makes the slave trader into a funny, likable oaf.
I guess that's a fair point.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, well, anyways, he buys a fucking gacha chicken egg.
Yes. Yeah, that was also a bit funny. Gotcha chicken egg.
Yeah, if you hit the jackpot, you get a dragon.
Yay! But apparently the dragons suck.
The dragons are trash. Oh well. We'll get into that later.
Because it was getting completely stomped by the chicken.
Yeah, we'll get into that later when we get to the race. And
yes.
So yeah, he buys the egg and he goes to and those and people from that village shows up in the town and are like, here's free stuff. You don't get the crystal ball though.
And it wasn't really people from the village, it was people like affiliated with people from the village, it seemed.
Basically the same thing.
Yeah, but whatever. Just, they're like, hey, he helped us out, so now we're gonna help him out. And I don't mind that. I mean, it's just like he did something good for someone, and they decide to help him out. That's
truly the darkest of anti-heroes. Yeah, anyways. So yeah, he gets stuff and he has, I guess it's supposed to be a romantic connection with Raph.
I guess. Sorta.
Yeah. And where they read a book together. And then the egg starts.
Yes.
And then the egg starts hatching.
Yes. And apparently he has like a growth boost skill in his shield too, which made it grow a lot faster.
I mean, him interacting with the chicken was I guess one of his more humanizing moments. And
absolutely.
And I will admit the scene where where the montage of him raising the chicken, where it speeds up with him on its back and it's just her standing and it fades to a sort of evening. That was kind of funny. That was a good bit of visual humor, if you can call it that.
Indeed. We get a bit more humor later on too.
And then Lady Bad Guy and her bumbling sidekick shows up.
Pretty much.
I mean, at this point, it just becomes a Saturday morning cartoon.
Yes. I am really looking forward to her getting her comeuppance.
I don't even hate her. She's so shallow and one-dimensional that I don't even, who even cares?
I do. I just want to see her in pain. But yeah, they show up and it's like, so, you're gonna have all your stuff rebuilt, and we are gonna help you by taking all your money.
They just shows up and he's like, now this guy's king, or this guy, Motoyasu.
This guy's now the lord of this area.
He does a weird bishy smile with a hair flip. I swear to God, he's the only character with any personality in this show. Even if he is kind of a mewling idiot.
Yes.
Man, they really did him dirty.
Yeah, he goes full shoujo there. Yeah. Just like, sparkles everywhere and shit.
And then the ninja shows up and hands her a scroll.
That we never find out what it actually says.
It says, "Go fuck yourself" or something.
You've been a shitty daughter. Fuck off.
And she challenges him to a race.
Yes.
And
it's like whoever wins the race will get to be the lord of this area.
Yeah. And his bird Philo kicks Motoyasu in the balls, and he does a hilarious face.
Yes. And then the race starts, and as you would expect, the other guys cheat to hell and back. They make holes in the road. They make our hero go slower, and the other hero go faster.
This race was so dumb. I mean, he just immediately overtakes him. There's no stakes in it. That's what I said last episode. The show just can't not have Naofumi look like a badass. I don't. Everybody
think my
else
biggest
just look incompetent.
Yeah, I think my main problem is that they absolutely had to cheat in order to win. But they failed at that. And also, the dragon is supposed to be worth 20 gold, but why is it so slow compared to the chicken?
That's because the only consistency in this show is Naofumi has to look cool. Everything else doesn't matter. Cool rebel who always does the right thing, and everybody else is a loser, unless they basically devote their life to him.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, and then afterwards she loses, and Motoyasu goes, I challenge you again some other times.
I just let you win.
I'm amazing they didn't have a scene of her being angry holding the scroll, and I don't know, Motoyasu saying something like, don't worry, this was just a minor setback, and then she throws it on the ground, screams, stomps on it, and goes, curse you, shield hero!
They're basically Team Rocket.
Yeah. And that's why it's
That's basically what that just dawned on me. They're basically Jesse and James.
Now it dawned on me in the fucking episode, and that's why it's so weird that I'm supposed to hate these characters.
All we need is for the spear hero to have blue hair.
Or take this show seriously as a piece of dark fantasy. It's a fucking children's cartoon. When it's best.
Yeah, it's... The start of it made it seem like it would be a lot more interesting than what it's proving to be.
I mean, I think this is just a weird digression. And then we're going to go back to everybody being...
Probably. This was just like a funny filler episode, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, where not really much of consequence happened. Like, yeah, he beat him at the race, and now he's apparently the lord of this area, but that's probably not gonna come much into play of anything.
Yeah, he gets a wagon in the end, and then he runs off, and then he rides off with.
Yeah, and apparently he also gets a thing that lets him go anywhere without having to pay any tolls, because now he's a traveling merchant.
As well as a hero.
Yes.
And
he is now the traveling merchant hero.
Yeah, and they sleep. Raftalia vomits.
She vomits before they sleep.
Oh, yeah, she vomits before they sleep, which is her.
Yeah, apparently
moment.
Yeah, apparently she gets motion sick.
Just like get over it.
Yeah. You just gotta get over your motion sickness, because that's how that works.
They sleep, and next morning they're like, "Oh, what's this?" And it's Philo, the bird.
Yes.
Into a lolly.
And now the bird is a tiny lolly with wings.
Yeah. And holy shit, the most generic fucking lolly voice there is.
Yeah. Okay, then. Fair enough. Get her some fucking food.
Yeah.
What?
I don't know.
I'm hungry, master.
Yeah, so that's it.
Yeah. It was fairly enjoyable. It was just a bit of fun this week. I didn't really have too many glaring problems. Although, yeah, the whole race thing, there was a bit there. It just seemed a bit.
I mean, I still would say the race is probably the most entertaining part of the show.
The what?
The race is still the best part of the show because it was just a goofy fucking cartoon.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it was the most. It's like on the surface level, it was the most enjoyable, but it did annoy me a bit the fact that, if they hadn't cheated, he would just have basically beat him by a lap or some shit.
By a lap, he immediately overtook him. And
yes.
Alfumi is just completely incompetent. He always makes stupid faces like he's scared or something.
I mean, he did make the air shield thing on one of the holes at one point.
Did I say Naofumi? I meant Motoyasu.
Yes. Ah, okay.
Who just looks like an idiot most of the time.
Pretty much. He is just a bumbling sidekick.
Which he suddenly turned into. I don't get it. Is it just he's mean to the shield hero, so he has to be this pathetic weakling all of a sudden?
I don't know, man.
Moderately respectful to him. His reasoning for starting the first duel, the fight, the mass fight, was because he took umbrage with him having a slave.
Yeah.
And even when they started the duel, he was at least somewhat respectful to him, noting that unstoppable force, immovable object dichotomy they had. And afterwards, it turns into a whine.
Pretty much. Yeah. Well, I guess we will see where it goes from here. But right now, I'm a bit. Yeah, I'm turning a bit more to your side, I gotta admit.
That's because you're listening to me rant every fucking week.
I mean, yeah, but I think even without that, I probably would be a bit more. It's
just more of the same, isn't it? When you get down to
pretty much.
It's just another isekai show. This time, he just has a shield instead of a sword and superpowers.
Yeah, I mean, he does still have superpowers.
Yeah, he has superpowers. Weak superpowers. That's another thing that's kind of odd, because I gotta say, the shield never looks weak.
No,
even if we ignore that it doesn't have any offensive power, it's got extremely potent defensive power, both for defense and for disabling opponents.
Exactly. Like, I mean, yeah, that he's basically a support, right?
Yeah.
He's like he's like a tanky support.
Yeah, the best.
If
support.
we're gonna use like gaming terms, right?
Yeah.
So he's sort of like let's take the most obvious comparison. He's kind of like a Braum, just a depressed Braum.
A sad Braum.
He's a sad Braum.
Yeah.
Braum is if he was depressed.
Yeah, and I mean, he got over his problems the moment he got an ally, and without without fuckery from mine and her her menagerie of assholes, there
Yes,
wouldn't have been a problem.
pretty much.
It's just like one of those, like, have you ever seen a certain magical index?
I haven't yet.
Or will Chivalry of a Failed Knight, really? Any of those where
I've watched that.
where it's
I've
like,
watched that.
we cannot calculate his powers, so therefore he's technically the weakest.
Yes.
It's just like that, but just because he can't hit a person in the face.
I am planning on watching Index at some point because it does look like I would find it enjoyable at least.
That wasn't meant to be dismissive. I enjoyed the first 2 seasons when I watched them.
Yeah, I heard you're supposed to like it switch over every time, so it's like you watch Index first and then Railgun, then Index, then Railgun.
I didn't watch Index.
Apparently Railgun is like, it's the same continuity, but it's like a side story. Apparently a lot of people actually do care about it.
Priorities.
Because they like the girl in Railgun.
Not unlike me, who watches a show every week that I don't even like.
Yes. Well, I think we're gonna wrap it up quick anyways. I gotta go raid in 5 minutes. And my guild will be mad at me if I'm late.
I had more things to rant about. I'm gonna do that some other episode. I'm going to actually take some time to talk about some of the issues I have that I want to talk about.
I mean, you can do that next time. That'll be like our quarter way through this show.
Oh yeah. I just forgot how numbers work for a moment.
Yeah. So that's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed our discussion of this show.
Yeah,
and
that'll be when I get to all those things I said I would get to throughout the episode next week.
Yes. So I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.